I'd like to call this meeting of the Brick Township Council to order. Madam Clerk?
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on June 25th, 2021. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper and posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Thank you. Roll call?
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilman Minikino.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilman Mumolo.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Here.
Vice President Halloran. President Crate.
Here. At this time, we're going to salute the flag and have a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we are on to the consent agenda. Madam Clerk?
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Please note that Resolution 47 is off the agenda and will not be considered for tonight. Resolution 41.
Authorized refund from police road job account.
This resolution authorizes a refund from the Township's Police Road Job account in the amount of $780 to American Legion Post 348. Resolution 42.
Authorize award of bid improvements to Barrier Island roads.
Mayor?
Thank you. This resolution authorizes an award of bid to Earl Asphalt Company of Farmingdale, New Jersey, in the amount of $321,013.13, and that's for the improvements to the Barrier Island Roads project. The project generally consists of resurfacing of Deauville Drive, Sunset Boulevard, Bay Avenue, Squan Beach Drive, and Curtis Point Drive, as well as concrete and drainage improvements on those same roads. Bid notices were provided to 73 prospective bidders, and 7 of them requested the actual bid package. 5 bids were submitted, and the prices ranged from $321,013.13 that we're asking to award tonight, all the way up to $496,107.50. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 43.
Authorize award of bid roadway improvements to Bernard Drive, Mathis Drive, and Waterway Court.
Mayor?
Thank you. This goes towards our flood mitigation efforts. This is an area that floods quite often anytime there's a high tide, and especially if there's a high tide with a full moon. So the resolution authorizes an award of bid to MECO Incorporated of Clarksburg, New Jersey, in the amount of $287,882.50 for the roadway improvements to Bernard Drive, Mathis Drive, and Waterway Court. The project consists of reconstruction and milling of Bernard Drive, Mathis Drive, and Waterway Court, as well as making them a little bit higher. Bid notices were provided to 73 prospective bidders, and 6 different bidders requested bid packages. 5 bids were submitted, and the prices range from $287,882.50 to $424,955 even. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 44.
Authorize award of bid purchase and delivery of signed materials.
This resolution authorizes the award of bid for the purchase and delivery of sign materials to Garden State Highway Products Millville on a per-item basis as per an approved schedule of prices. This is an open-ended contract not to exceed $60,000 per year, with funds being certified prior to each order. Bid notices were provided to 24 prospective bidders, and 7 picked up bid packages. 2 bids were received, one of which was deemed non-responsive. Resolution 45.
Authorize award of bid purchase and delivery of automated garbage cans.
This resolution authorizes an award of bid for the purchase and delivery of automated garbage cans to the IPL North America, Quebec, at the following rates: 35-gallon containers, $60.50, 65-gallon containers, $53.17, and 95-gallon containers, $64.31. Bid notices were provided to 11 prospective bidders, and 6 picked up bid packages. 4 bids were received, with IPL being the lowest responsible bidder. Resolution 46.
Authorize award of contract through New Jersey Purchasing Cooperative Pricing Program, purchase and delivery of 20 portable radios for Police Department.
This resolution authorizes a contract through the New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Program to Motorola Solutions, West Berlin, New Jersey, in the amount of $56,496.20 for a purchase and delivery of 20 portable radios for the Police Department. Resolution 4-8.
Authorize sale of surplus property, online auction, municipbid.com.
This resolution authorizes the sale of surplus IT property through using the online auction services of Municipid. The auction is scheduled to begin on Monday, August 23rd at 8 a.m. and close at 4 on September 3rd. Resolution 4-9.
Authorize placement of tax liens for property cleanups.
This resolution authorizes the placement of a tax lien for property cleanup at 434 New York Avenue in the amount of $220.61. Resolution 410. Ms. Bergen?
Thank you. 10A, 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 211.25, Lot 7, in the amount of $16,405.71. 10B is a 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 383.26, Lot 58, in the amount of $10,223.72. 10C are tax overpayments for the year 2020 for Block 380.16, Lot 43, in the amount of $250. And 10D is tax overpayments for the year 2021, of which there are 10.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of our consent agenda. Can I get a motion and second to end the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council? Closed council, open to public for questions on the resolutions.
Sam, I can take my mask off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sam Foster, Teagle Drive and Brick. Quick question on number 6 on the purchase of the 20 portable radios for the police department. Are these new radios less or more expensive or about the same as the old ones, or are these in addition to the ones that the police already have?
They're a complement to what the police already have, a price comparable to what we paid last time. I don't have available, but I could get that for you.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else from public for questions on the resolutions? Seeing none, close public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are on to resolution 411, computer bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $26,952,620.05.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion. Second.
Open to council. Closed council, open to public for questions on the computer bill resolutions. Seeing none, closed public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Abstain CME, yes to the rest.
Councilman Mumalo.
Abstain Meridian Occupational Health. Yes to the rest.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 412, manual bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,840,374.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Sorry. Open to council. Closed council, open to public for questions on the manual bill resolution. Closed public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Abstain CME, yes to the rest.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. We are on to 5-1, ordinances on second reading.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code of the Township of Brick in Section 288-8, parking of certain vehicles prohibited.
Thank you. In accordance with the Township's Ordinance 288-8A, trucks having a gross weight vehicle rating, GVWR, of more than 4 tons are not allowed to be parked on any street or right-of-way within the Township of Brick between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. Traffic safety and code enforcement have recommended that the 288-A ordinance be amended to a higher GVW than 4 tons. As many standard pickup trucks, Ford F-350s and Dodge Ram 3500 gas diesel can range between 9,000 pounds and 10,000 pounds. As a result, the Council's Public Safety Committee met and have recommended this ordinance and amendment. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion. Second.
Open to council? Closed council, open to public. Mr. Finelli? This is just the first one. Okay. Closed public, roll call?
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Momolo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're on to 5-2.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code of the Township of Brick in Chapter 288-31 to prohibit parking on Jeanette Drive.
Okay. The Council's Public Safety Committee reviewed a recommendation from the Police Department's Traffic Safety Unit regarding on-street parking for Jeanette Drive on the beach side, which has been an issue since reconstruction began after Superstorm Sandy. This amendment prohibits parking on Jeanette Drive due to concerns with emergency vehicle access. Traffic Safety looked at this from a practical perspective, functionality, as well as from the needs and desires of the homeowner tenants. The right-of-way is only about 25 feet wide. The Township Engineer refers to NJAC 5:21-5, the New Jersey Residential Site Improvement Standard, when determining whether on-street parking should be allowed. In this case, and based on the measurements obtained, on-street parking would not be authorized. Traffic Safety also met with Township Fire official Kevin Batesel on Jeanette Drive. The purpose of the meeting was not only to discuss the issue, but to physically size up an actual fire truck, which is currently stationed on the beach in the roadway. At the time of the site visit, there was a mid-sized sport utility vehicle parked on the side of the road. The clearance between vehicles was narrow, and the truck and its crew could not properly operate. Effectively fighting a fire in this type of neighborhood would require several pieces of specialized fire apparatus, EMS vehicles, and other emergency responders, which would all need somewhere to park and operate from. Therefore, the committee is requesting an ordinance amendment to prohibit parking on Jeanette Drive. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council? Closed council, open to public on this ordinance. Closed public, roll call?
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Momolo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are on to ordinance 5-3.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code of the Township of Brick to designate Folsom Drive as a through street.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Thank you. Traffic Safety recommended that Folsom Drive from Route 88 to Old Squan Road be considered to be added as a through street in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 288-17 and add to 288-42 Schedule 12 through streets. Since Folsom Drive is not a through street, there is no stop sign at the intersection of Folsom Drive and Center Drive, with the addition of the new Dunkin' Donuts located at 2226 Route 88 on the corner of Folsom Drive. This area has seen an increase in vehicular traffic. In addition, Creative Starts, located at 225 Old Squan Road, is on the corner of Center Drive. Parents, guardians, and staff members use Center Drive to travel east on Route 88, which is easier than trying to navigate a left turn from Old Squan onto Route 88. Vehicles are also using Folsom Drive to get to St. Dominic's Church, as there is an entrance on Old Squan Road. With the increased traffic, local residents are observing vehicles coming from Center Drive and turning onto Folsom Drive without stopping or even yielding. Traffic Safety agrees with the residents' concerns. The Traffic Safety Office suggests making Folsom Drive a through street and installing a stop sign at the intersection of Folsom Drive and Center Drive. This request was reviewed and approved by the Council's Public Safety Committee.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Closed council, open to public on this resolution. Seeing none, closed public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Momolo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarera.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. Resolution 5-4.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code of the Township of Brick to lower the speed limit on Mandalay Road. Sorry.
That's okay. Traffic Safety has recommended a speed limit reduction on Mandalay Road from 35 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour between Drum Point Road and on the Calming Circle on St. Lawrence Boulevard. Traffic studies were conducted, which included reviewing crash data, speed vehicle counters at different locations, times, and dates, 2 studies, and visiting the site. Since 1989, this section of Mandalay Road has been improved, and in doing so, now meets the definition of a residential street. Statutory speed for the residential neighborhood is 25 miles per hour. The speed limits on all surrounding streets in this area is 25 miles per hour, except for Drum Point Road, which is 40 miles per hour and is a county roadway. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Closed council, open to public. Mr. Finelli.
I'm back. First, I want to clear up a couple of things that were said or implied at the last meeting regarding this subject. There was a bunch of people complained. That's not true. One person complained. There's also mention of dog walkers complaining. That's not true either. The person who complained lived there, not a dog walker. Secondly, I want to compliment Sergeant Donnelly. I read the report. I thought it was accurate. I thought it was honest. I thought it was complete. I thought it was a job well done. Third, I'd like to read paragraph 2. I'll assume everybody here read the thing since I brought it up as an issue last time, but in case you didn't. Paragraph 2. Both studies yielded no data that would support a speed limit change. Would you like me to read that again? Both traffic studies yielded no data that would support a speed limit change. So as far as talking about a traffic study, it's irrelevant. Also, one of his comments, I am wavering with this one. The traffic study was done last year. Maybe that's why I didn't remember it or I wasn't there. There were 2 different studies done, and they were done during July and mostly in August. I'm assuming that the August date was picked because that would be the most traffic on those roads, because you get all the people going down the shore, plus all the out-of-towners. So if you're going to have problems, probably going to be with the out-of-towners. During the one study, which was 6 days, I was surprised at even this. There were 14,000 vehicles on the road, and in 9 days, there was 29,000 vehicles on that road. Okay? That's a lot of traffic. So, with no study to support changing that speed limit, in my mind, there's only 2 reasons why you would change it. 1, because you can, or 2, because the other roads in the area are 25 except for Drum Point. If that's the reason for changing it, then I'm guessing you're going to go to the other roads that were mentioned in that report and change all of them to 25 miles an hour too, and then piss off all the people in that area just like me. Right? Don't do something just because you can, and don't do something just because the other roads are that way. That road has been 35 miles an hour since I've lived there, and according to the report, I'm assuming there was no accidents there. I drove it at 25 miles an hour, and I drove it at 35 miles an hour, right? 25 miles an hour is creeping. 35 miles an hour, I didn't see any problem. So, that's my comments. No
Thank you.
reason to change it because you can change it, or because the other roads are that way. But I know you will.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Can you just, just pull the microphone down and then state your name and address, please?
Carol Harmondy, 60 Mandalay Road, Brick, New Jersey. As this gentleman just mentioned, the speed study was done, and in 10 days, 30,329 vehicles drove on that road. Of that number, 15% were speeding. That rounds out to be 4,500 speeders in 10 days. That being said, on any given day, you can drive over there, you'll see people jogging, biking, walking. You'll see young children living on the street playing or being pushed in a stroller by their parents or grandparents. Many dogs are being walked by their owners. This road used to be wooded, but it is not the case, and it's been that way for quite a long time. The neighborhood that we're talking about has 28 homes, one after the other. Mandalay has become a disaster waiting to happen. We ask the mayor and the council to consider and approve our request this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Sir, your
Yeah,
name
hi,
and
Joe
address?
Militano, 48 Mandalay. And first, let me just take a second to thank everybody. Saw the new park down by the beach, Mayor Ducey. It's fantastic, and I know you folks put a lot of time into this, so thank you. First, to debunk what one of the prior speakers said, there's been numerous accidents on Mandalay Road. Numerous. In fact, some life-threatening. I was in my backyard with my family one day when we heard what was a horrible sound, noise coming out of the front. It was clearly an accident. When I went out, I saw a spectacle that I couldn't believe. A racer on this road going over 50 miles per hour hit 3 cars. You know, these are in driveways. How do you hit parked cars in driveways unless you're driving out of control? So we could provide you with that police report, and there's many others. You know, I did a little math on this, and it was astounding to me that anyone would even find the common sense to oppose this in a neighborhood with kids playing. You know, if you do the math on it, it takes exactly 1.677 seconds to go, you know, equivalent amount of time. If you wanted to go half a mile on that road, it would take you 2.5 seconds. Which means in order for some of my citizens to get to work 2.5 seconds early, those of us on Mandalay Road have to live in fear every day. When I walked out that day and I saw those people on the front lawn, families looking at their cars shattered and their little kids, you know, looking on like, what just happened in my neighborhood? Why are there people going down my home street where I play at 50 miles per hour? As Carol said, this is a fatality waiting to happen. I don't think any of us want to see that. I don't think any of us want to look back and think what one of my kind citizens said was an arbitrary decision. It's not arbitrary. It's a matter of life and death. To get to work 2.5 minutes, or 2.5 seconds earlier, how could anyone oppose that? Of course you guys have not only the right to do this, you have the responsibility to do it. This town is well run because of folks like you. So I trust that you'll use your good power in good faith today. And by the way, I could list other incidents. I had a guy almost knock me down a couple of days ago at a high rate of speed. My wife said something to me, pulled over, he wanted to fight me. He said, what? What are we doing here? You know, what are we doing here? This is not speed racer roadway. This is a community where little kids play. So, you know, for the good sake of the people of Mandalay Road, please do the right thing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Is there anyone else from public? Okay, just before I close public comment, we did have someone who was unable to attend the meeting, and I was asked to read an email, so I agree that I would do it. This is from a Robert, and forgive me if I say his name wrong, Chankalian. Sorry. Thank you, Chankalian. Thank you. Sorry. It is my understanding that there is no accident history on the street, nor did the traffic speed study indicate a warrant for this reduction. My understanding is that the speed reduction is based on request from residents. As a resident of the neighborhood, myself, for over 21 years, I do not see any problem with the current 35-mile-per-hour speed limit. My family and I routinely drive the road in our vehicles and on our bicycles to the park. There has been no change in this area since I moved in here in 2000. I've also been informed that the 85th percentile speed for this road is right at the posted 35-mile-per-hour speed limit, which indicates the proper speed according to NJDOT guidelines. Therefore, please accept my email as notification that I am not in support of this change. And I would urge you to consider the fact that if you don't follow the guidelines, the argument to lower speed limit, albeit with the best of intentions in mind, could be applied anywhere, which has numerous other negative effects. Thank you for your consideration. And I know that's not the norm, but we just went from Zoom to this. So if I did something wrong, I apologize, but that was the norm up until 2 weeks ago, so I apologize. And that's Mr. Foster. That was the end of that public comment.
I didn't intend to speak on this, but I just had a question. Since there's obviously seems to be a problem there with speeding, have the police increased their patrols, or maybe it'd be good to have maybe an officer there with a radar gun to crack down and ensure the safety of people on that road? I know that I live in Birchwood Park, and my neighborhood has had some problems with that main road when you go in, and we did have a uniformed police officer there in a marked patrol car, and that did help. But then later on we had the speed bumps, which people complained about, but that helped. But I'm not suggesting speed bumps. I deliver for DoorDash. I've been down that road many times, and I know the area that well. But maybe I don't know if have police patrols been increased in that area, because we have had problems in the past with town. Like remember the mobile home park in Brick, where we had crime problem. Mayor Kelly, I think it was, went there with Chief Dugard, and they had a uniformed police officer there. So maybe that would be one way to make the area more safe. Does anybody know if there have been increased police patrols in the area? Or even like a marked car with a uniform officer in it?
We do selective enforcement, Mr. Foster, regularly and often in problem areas with speeding, and I'm sure that selective enforcement will be out there to help educate people should this be passed tonight that the speed limit's been lowered.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, I didn't plan on speaking, but anything to do with safety, I'm concerned about. I had a problem with that in my neighborhood, but like I said, Birchwood Park now has a lot of speed bumps. But before that, we had police patrols, and I remember I hate to admit how old I am, but back in the 70s, I used to walk to Brick High School in my center days, and we had drug dealing going on at the playground. And so the police would have patrols. It's funny because as soon as the drug dealers saw the police, they'd slam the trunk of the car and look casual. But then the police would double back and catch them. But there's nothing like a marked police officer in a marked car, uniformed police officer, to really
Great.
ensure safety. Just a suggestion. That's all.
Thank you. Hold on, sir. 1 second. I have to call you up, so I'm sorry. Somebody had their hand raised. Sorry. Mr. Finelli? Sorry. He had his hand up. He's the first. I saw him first. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'll tell you right up front, I don't like it when somebody questions my common sense. But let's talk about this a little bit more. Do you think that if somebody's doing 50 miles an hour, changing the speed limit is going to slow them down? They're already over 15 miles over the speed limit if it's 35. So you're not going to slow them down. I guess you can come up to this microphone and throw out any numbers that you want and say anything you want. I didn't do that. I quoted the report from the patrol sergeant who did the survey, and I'll read it again. Both studies yielded no data that would support a speed limit change. Now, you can do what you want, but that's what the professional said. He went over the accident reports. He went over all of the charts that were in this report that showed the speed limits, yeah, there were some people that went over it, but based on their standards, that doesn't justify a speed change. I don't know what you think you can do in a second and a half, but in a second and a half is that, and it doesn't take you a second and a half going 25 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour to cover that length of road, and the houses are on both sides of the street, not one.
Thank you.
My name is Pete Singalese, 52 Mandalay Road, and I am the dog walker that everyone refers to. I heard in the last bit of information that was provided, no changes in the last 21 years?
Well, I'm just reading a letter. That
Okay, so
wasn't me speaking.
Let's talk about
just to
that
be
for a
clear.
second. Pickleball, new. Park, gorgeous job. Great, great job. I appreciate it. Dog park, right on the corner. But nothing's changed. Another 15 houses built on Mandalay. I know we weren't here 21 years ago, but we're here now, right? I had the unfortunate time of working at home this past year and a half. I sat upstairs and I watched from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and I see the cars, and I see how fast they go. I would love for you to come to my office someday. Not office, because now I'll get in trouble if I have an office in my home. But come up and come over. Take a look. This past weekend, there were 7 children, 7, standing on the corner selling lemonade. Do you realize how difficult it is to stop on Mandalay Road going 35, 40, 45? And as my neighbor pointed out before, is 2 seconds that important? 2 seconds. It's not just the residents. It is not just the residents. It is the people who are on their bikes. It is the people who are walking on the left and right side of the road. It is dog walkers like me who have to once in a while pull the dog off the road because I anticipate a car coming at 20, 25 miles an hour. 25 miles an hour is not creeping. Not at all. Not at all. Okay? This is, when we talk residents, we are not talking 18 homes. We are talking about individuals walking up and down our streets. And on the way here tonight, I purposely counted. There's approximately 12 to 15 homes before I get to Drum Point Road. There were 8 people walking in different directions, 3 additional people on bikes, all at 10 to 7. So it's not just, we're not just talking here about 15 homes. Right? Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Actually, may I ask if the chief would like to come up and address some of the things that have been brought up?
Good evening, everybody. So, yes, we did receive complaints, and we tasked our traffic safety unit with doing a traffic study. And typically, what we base our traffic study on is those, what a traffic study is it monitors the amount of cars and their average speed. And typically, that's what we use to gauge whether speed limits need to be changed. And I would concur with Sergeant Donnelly. The data that we received said that the cars on that roadway were traveling between 33 and 39 miles per hour, which is very close to the 35 mile per hour post the speed limit. But the question comes down to, is that the proper speed limit? Is that what the speed limit should be? And we looked at it closer, and to quote Sergeant Donnelly, yeah, he said that the 2 traffic studies didn't warrant a change, but if you read on, he talks about how he traveled the road himself and asked another experienced traffic safety officer to do the same, and he felt that 35 was probably too fast for that road. So we discussed that, and I went and did it myself. And quite honestly, I think that 35 miles per hour on that road is kind of fast, especially in the section that these folks live in, because the homes that they live in were built at around sometime around 2000, 2001. the speed limit was increased in 1989. Those homes didn't exist. It was wooded. So at that time, 35 miles per hour was probably adequate. Now, I don't think so. We went out there and measured the area of road where these folks live, and it is right now 28 foot wide. Roads like Drum Point Road that are, the speed limit's much higher, is 36 foot wide. That's a big difference. There is no shoulder on that portion of Mandalay Road. So when I went out there, and I went out there again today just to remind myself, because I thought I might be speaking here tonight, there were bikes, there were joggers, and people were speeding by them probably close to 35 miles an hour. And quite honestly, I think that's too fast. Because when we do these things, we don't look to, mess with people's quality of life. We're worried about their quality of life. We're worried about people's safety. That's what we're taking into consideration. And quite honestly, I don't think 25 miles per hour is creeping like was suggested. Every road that goes off of Mandalay Road, St. Lawrence Boulevard, if you're familiar with the area, is a very long portion of road. Many streets go off St. Lawrence, and that entire area is 25 miles per hour. And we've never had anyone complain about that, nor would I think anyone would complain if they lived on these roads. 25 miles an hour is what that road should be. 35 miles an hour maybe was good years ago, but it's not anymore. And it's for public safety and for the quality of life of these folks. And it's our recommendation, it was our recommendation to the Public Safety Committee that the speed limit be reduced. And I see no reason why it shouldn't be.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Anyone else from public that hasn't had a chance to speak? Seeing none, close public. Roll call?
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Minikino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Momolo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we are on to public comment.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Anyone for public comment? Mr. Finelli. Did I vote on that, personally? Didn't we just vote? We just voted. Yeah. Were you napping? No, we just commented, and I called again for comments. So now we're at regular public comment.
Again, I'm going to comment on what was said. You already voted on this, but I just want to clear something up, all right? I don't know what constitutes a shoulder on the road and no shoulder on the road. And I'm not arguing that Mandalay is the same width as Drum Point. But on that road, there are clearly lines off the curb which not wide enough for a car to get in there, but certainly wide enough for a bicycle to be in. I mean, it's clearly marked on the side of the road. There's lines, which I would assume was a shoulder, all right? Number one. Number two, for most of the road, there's sidewalks, but not for the dog park. But to bring up the dog park entrance is on Drum Point Road. It's not on Mandalay Road. It's on Drum Point. The parking lot is way up there. So in order to do that, you gotta come around. Now, if people walk their dogs in the street, I get nervous when I go past somebody walking their dog in the street, because I never know when that dog is gonna run out in front of me or not, and I'm gonna kill it. And I feel bad about it. But they're on leashes that expand and everything. So if you walk your dog in the road, you're taking that chance. And whether I'm going 25 or 35, it really doesn't matter, all right? You get up here, let's keep it honest and say what it is.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Yes, sir. You can go first.
I live at 60 Mandalay Road. It's the last house after the woods. And backing out of my driveway sometimes is quite frightening. I back out when there's no one coming down the road. By the time my car is in Mandalay, there's somebody on my bumper beeping the car, or beeping the horn. a lot of times, they'll just go ahead and pass me and just keep on going down Mandalay. So, from my perspective, living in the area and trying to get out of my driveway sometimes is extremely difficult.
Thank you.
Sir, just so you know, we just voted and approved that change, just to make.
That's okay.
Okay,
That's
I
okay.
just want to make sure, because there seems confusion.
Yes. Mhm.
Sam Foster, Teakwood Drive, Brick. Got a couple points here. First, I wanted to compliment the mayor on Food Town site. Driving past there, there's a lot of construction going on there, so it's really good to see that eyesore there has really gotten a lot of work on it. So thank you, Mayor. Councilman Pontiero, it's good to see you back at the meetings. You look good, and I hope your health is okay. I didn't realize that the meeting started again in person, so I was a little bit surprised when I was checking my YouTube feed and I saw the council meeting. So, but you do look good. It's good to see you back up there. Yeah, we missed you. And I was going to compliment you, Councilwoman Crate, about the way the meetings have been run, because we had problems in the past with people being heckled in last two of your predecessors. But I want to point something out, and that is that tonight some of the individuals over here have been laughing at Mr. Finelli when he's speaking, and it's similar to what happened in the past. And again, I picked up the brochure in the back of the room, and this is the problem I had before with then Council President Zapsik and Council President DeYoung. No matter if you like what someone says or not, you should treat them with respect. And I didn't like, Mr. Finelli's been coming here for years. He's, along with other people, he shows concern for the town. And I think that they should, the people on the other side of the room that are in the area, it should be more respectful to him, regardless of whether they like what he says or not. This is a problem I had years ago, and we saw how that escalated with the incidents that happened in the past. And I just want to point out, we do not, up until tonight, I had no problem with the way the meetings are being run, but hopefully this is an anomaly, and it's going to be, maybe you could keep an eye on them and, enforce people's legal right to speak without being harassed or insulted. And to me, that's just the way it is. Nobody laughed at them when they were speaking, and that's the way it should be. No matter, we've had people come up here and say very dumb things. I mean, but nobody was laughed at or ridiculed, and that's just my point of view. I'm not trying to pick a fight with anybody or anything, but having consumer I went through in the past, and what I saw other people go through in the past, I don't want to see that happen again. I actually ran into a citizen in town in ShopRite not too long ago, and I asked her why has she been to meetings lately. She said, no, she's not coming back because of the way that she was treated with being heckled and insulted during council meetings during the two of your predecessors. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Overall, I think you've done a good job keeping order, but maybe it's just the people in the room tonight because I didn't see a problem like this in the past, but just keep an eye on it. And, everybody should be aware that when you stand up here and speak, you should be treated with respect the same way that when they were standing at the microphone speaking, they were treated with respect. That's all. Thank you.
I am going to read my letter that you got late, and it wasn't great. I was unavailable for about 10 or 12 days, so I squeezed it between meetings in order to be able to get my letters in. Dear Mayor Ducey, August 7th I dated this, so obviously it's just this weekend. Council President Andy Crate, Councilman, Councilwoman, as well as all the residents and workers in Brick Township and all of Ocean County, in fact. A series of walls around the Evergreen Woods condo area, Greenbrier, Brick High School, Lanes Mill School, Town Hall, Birchwood, and other areas of Brick is needed and has been needed in order to save the health and lives of our residents. You need to represent the people. Help the workers and residents of Brick not develop COPD. Help the children avoid asthma. Help the pregnant mom not have autistic children. And help seniors of Brick not succumb of heart and lung illnesses and premature deaths. A high wall of 14 to 20 feet and vast, high and thick replanting of brush and trees are needed on the Garden State Parkway, or adjacent to it at least, in areas like I had mentioned before, Evergreen Woods, Brick High, Primrose Gardens, Lanes Mill, Greenbrier, Town Hall even, Birchwood Park, and other places along the Garden State Parkway. This will help correct some of the problems and the damage caused by the illegal actions of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority. Every day, more toxins flow into the lungs of residents and workers. The toxins from the Garden State Parkway continue to kill our seniors, harm our children, and hurt the development of babies yet to be born. The council, the mayor, the citizens, employees should all go to the hospitals, look around at the hospitals, go to the libraries, read up about it, and the newspapers, and force them into giving you information in order to seek the truth. And once you are enlightened, please stand up, speak up, and act with premeditation at every council meeting and public engagement. And in reality, speak up continuously to help the residents, the citizens, and all of us. It is well past time that the Garden State Parkway and the Turnpike Authority Commissioners are held accountable. Thanks for your time. It was John Slukowicz. I don't think I mentioned 950 Sylvia Court. Sorry about that. I yield back 2.5.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Okay, seeing none, close public, and we are on to council comments. Ms. Bergen?
None for me, thanks.
Mayor?
Thank you. I just want to thank the New Jersey Economic Development Association and Senator Vin Gopal from Monmouth County. They picked Brick Township to do a lunch, and it was over at the Housing Authority, the George Conway building. The entire Housing Authority was invited, all the residents, and that took place on July 28th. And what it was to help out a small business, a local business, which was Shore Catering, is who they chose, and they prepared over 225 lunches, I think it was, or 224 lunches that the New Jersey Economic Development Association paid for, and then our Housing Authority residents got an opportunity for a free meal. So it was a great event and helped out a small business, and they're going to be doing it at other towns and cities throughout the state. On July 30th, our Rotary, the Brick Rotary Club, held their annual Vest Fund and Police Equipment event. It was outside this year. It was great, raising money to help out our police department with safety equipment as well as police vests. Thank you to the Rotary Club for holding that, as they have for many, many years. August 3rd was our Kids' Night Out, which was over at Windward Beach. Great job by everybody involved. We had DPW Touch-A-Truck. We had our lifeguards out there. We had New Jersey State Corrections. We had the Ocean County Sheriff's officers. We had our EMS, our volunteer fire companies were out there as well. And the kids got an opportunity to climb on the trucks, sit on a jet ski. And then, of course, our police department, it's also known as National Night Against Crime. And our entire police department was out there with a lot of their different equipment for the kids to try, to be able to hold the police shields, put a helmet on, get to be able to sit on the motorcycle and have their pictures taken. And it's a great community event where the families, and especially kids, get involvement direct one-on-one with all of our police officers. And then it's our police camp graduation also takes place, as well as bouncy houses and fun things like that, rock climbing walls and things that the kids love as well. And the police camp graduates go through 10 days of kind of rigorous training, and that's a nice event to have right there at Windward, where we hold all of our huge events, and they got to get their certificates of graduation. And another excellent program that's run by our police here in town. August 9th, which was just yesterday, I had the opportunity to meet the VA secretary. His name is McDonough, Dennis McDonough. He came to our VFW here in town, along with Congressman Kim, Mayor Mo Hill from Toms River, myself, representatives of the prosecutor's office, VFW representatives, American Legion representatives, VFW from Toms River, and Ocean County College representatives. And it was basically to see what we can do for veterans to make their experience at our VA here in town better. They're going to be building a new VA for Ocean County residents, for any VA members, veterans. but it's going to be here in Ocean County and Toms River. But in the meantime, that's not going to happen for 4 or 5 years, so how can we make everybody's lives better that are at our current facility? Problems with that, in case people don't know, is parking, not enough doctors, not enough women's doctors. So some ideas that came out of this included having a veterans lift program. So a lift is like an Uber, and basically the VA would pay for the lift from the veteran's house to our clinic, so that because there's a real parking problem over there. Also discussion about possibility of doing valet parking. They were turned down by Home Depot and Walmart already, so they're looking for a spot where they can put people's cars and still have a valet and be able to get back and forth. They also talked about having nurse practitioners be more prevalent in the VA system because they have a shortage of doctors. And then, hopefully the VA secretary seemed like he was very interested in listening to all these problems, so hopefully they come up with some ideas. I complained about the governmental part of it, of why it took 7 years to go out to bid and finally award a bid, because otherwise we wouldn't be having these conversations about lift and valet parking and everything, because we should have a VA clinic already. There's no reason why it should take that long. It might take a year, but 7 years is a little ridiculous. So they're going to take a look at all that stuff and hopefully make some changes nationally, but more importantly locally for our veterans right here. Coming up, some events, August 13th, which is this Friday. We have a ribbon cutting on Mandalay Road at Celltopia and Farmers Insurance. August 14th, Saturday, our annual fishing derby is back. It's from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Lake Riviera. It's for kids. Kids of all, kids, there's different age groups, and basically it goes on the weight of the fish that you catch. So you can start at 6 a.m. or you can start at 9:45 a.m., but it's over at 10 a.m. No matter what. You have to have your fish weighed by that time. 8/16 is something for our seniors. It's called Guess the Price. I think it's like The Price is Right. We probably can't use that otherwise we don't want to end up in a lawsuit having Bob Barker and company sue us. So it's Guess the Price at Traders Cove. You do need to register through our senior services, so please call, and we will obviously transport you as well on our senior bus. We have 3 Traders Cove concerts left. We had our first concert on the Bay, was at Bayside Park, and we have the 3 remaining are all at Traders Cove. August 11th is a Lotta Colada. August 18th is the Jukebox Review, and August 25th is the Function Band. They all start at 7 p.m. If seniors would like transportation to that, you can call our senior bus. We'll come pick you up and bring you to the concert and bring you home. And then also 8/20, August 20th is our next senior dinner and a movie. So please register through senior services. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a dinner, Italian dinner, bread, salad, pasta, followed by a movie. And that's everything I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Cunningham, do you have anything?
No, thank
You sure? Madam Clerk?
Nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary?
Nothing, thanks.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Thank you, Council President. I was actually debating whether or not I was going to speak on this, but I think I will, and prompted by your comments, sir, about difficulty backing out of your driveway. Councilman Minikino and I live on the same street. We're on the opposite side of town in the midstream section. We're on Coolidge Drive, and Coolidge runs between Route 70 and Route 88. In March of 2020, like many other offices, we were sent home to work from home, and I've been working remotely since that time. And I had no idea, because I'm not in the house all day long, but my home office desk looks out the front window, and I have to get up on a nice day and close the windows because the noise of the car is flying down that road with the speed limit of 25 miles an hour. And just coming over here tonight, I was almost hit by one of my neighbors as we were both trying to back out of the driveway, see what was coming down this way, what was coming down that way. If 25 miles an hour is an adequate speed limit for a street, a neighborhood, a residential street, and that neighborhood, our houses were built in the 1950s and have all been there. It was one of Brick's original developments. I see no reason why it should not be across, that standard should not apply across the board. based on the recommendation of the police department and what constitutes a residential street. So I was happy to be able to cast a vote in favor of this tonight. And that's all I have. Thank you. And sorry if I stole your thunder.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were just gonna go. Councilman Minikino.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So, again, I live on the same street. I back in my driveway, so I don't have to back out because it's a nightmare. For me, I don't usually say much, but I got something to say. The Mandalay Road thing, I was part of that whole study. 25 is what we think it is. I appreciate the passion that was here tonight from both sides. It's nice when you get that, because we put that into making our decisions. It's not because we can, it's because we put a lot of thought and process into it. We looked at all the facts. Listen, I'm a big advocate for safety for what I do for a living, okay? I have a different pair of eyes than most people because of what I do for a living. The fact that one side said there was no accidents, there was no deaths, the other side said, yeah, there was accidents, regardless whether a fatality. So the question is, in safety, were you lucky or were you safe? That's the question, okay? So the town, that road hasn't been changed in 20 plus years. I don't have the report in front of me. I apologize. However long it's been, 35 miles an hour. We need to evolve into 2021. That's what we feel the speed limit should be. That's why we voted on what we voted on. It was a long discussion. Again, it wasn't a flip of a coin. Oh, what do we make it, 25 or 35? There was a lot of discussion, and there was the same passion you guys showed tonight, and I appreciate that because it radiates to us to say, hey, we made the right decision, and we put the same passion into it that you guys did, and we appreciate that, and ladies. So again, thank you, and listen, safety first, okay? And we feel that's where it should be. Thanks again.
Thank you. Councilwoman Dion?
Yes, thank you. I just want to thank the chief, Councilwoman Zapsik, and Councilman Minikino for their comments. I couldn't have said it better, and I thank them for their hard work on this issue. And I have nothing else this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mumolo.
Thank you. Nothing from me. Thank you.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Thank you. I want to echo the comments of Councilwoman Zapsik and also Councilman Minikino. When someone says, are you making this decision just because you can? If I could let you be a fly on the wall in the Public Safety Committee meeting where we address this issue, and certainly not by a flip of a coin, but each of us using our own experiences and our own knowledge. I think each of us drove down Mandalay. I know I drove down there 2 times today just because I wanted to have it fresh in my mind. I live on Hooper Avenue, which is a busy road, so I know what it's like to have to back out of a driveway, and I have 3 young kids, and I saw the kids on Mandalay. But most importantly, I heard the words of the chief, and I read the words in the traffic studies. And I don't believe that the one sentence that you captured from it really captures the essence of what that officer did when he investigated the street. For him to be so on the fence that he went and talked to another colleague and said, what do you think? And then came back and said, yes, this is what should happen. For all of those reasons, as well as those articulated not only by the residents that just happen to be on this side of the room, but I had the same arguments in my mind of how would I feel if I were on the street forever it was 35 and now it's 25. The chief assured us that he'll spend a good deal of time educating the drivers about the change. They're not looking to go out there and just issue a bunch of tickets. They're looking to educate and change the dynamics of that road. So I sincerely hope that the reduction in speed does what it's intended to do, and that's to keep all of you safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, I just have two things. One is an announcement from the Ocean County Library. Volunteers are sought for memory cafes at the Ocean County Library. The search is underway for compassionate, sociable volunteers to facilitate memory cafes at the Ocean County Library, a collaboration of the library and the Alzheimer's Association of Greater New Jersey. The popular program is undergoing expansion throughout the library system following its successful implementation in Lacey Branch. Memory cafes are monthly gatherings in which people experiencing memory loss and their caregivers connect in a relaxed, non-judgmental atmosphere. Participants enjoy conversation, music, art, games, activities, and more. 2 social engagement leaders are sought for each monthly session. Training by the Alzheimer's Association includes online learning, shadowing of similar groups, and mentoring. Prospective facilitators are required to undergo background checks. Learn more by emailing Program Coordinator Nicolette Vasco at navasco@alz.org or by calling the Alzheimer's Association at 1-800-272-3900. And you can keep up with other library events and programs at www.theoceancountylibrary.org or visit the library on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Spotify. And I'm just going to close really quick if I just want to go back to the whole road issue. I live on the other side of 88 on midstream, so Councilwoman Zapsik and Councilman Minikino have the 25 mile per hour, but I've got the 35 mile per hour. And there's a big difference between 35 miles an hour and 25 miles an hour. And no one ever does 35 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour. So you can just jump up whatever that is in your head to where you believe people would be off based on those speed limits. And that's just as an adult speaking. And I see everything through not only the advice given by the chief and obviously the committee that brought this together, but through a mother's eyes of a 14-year-old who rides her bike down midstreams to get to Arrowhead, and which would be similar to where you are, and through a mother of a 16-year-old child with a permit learning to drive and what that looks like to that kid. And we've been on the road, but they view things very differently as well. And we took everything into consideration. Was not a snap decision. So please know that when we sit up here, that's not how it works with us. So having said that, we thank you for coming this evening. Our next scheduled meeting will be held on Tuesday, August 24th at 7 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion. All in favor? Aye. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.